I had one in Kazakhstan that was 600 milligrams, and I don't know
If you've ever come
why
down from
that's
it.
legal anywhere.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah.
That's like double this can. What is this, like?
4 times.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the FloGrappling Show, a.k.a. the worst show on the internet. As always, I'm Trey Robinson. We got Papa Reed right there. We got Big Joe on the side desk, and then very special guest, Declan Moody in studio. Everybody give it up
Have it up for Declan. Thanks for coming, Declan.
Thank you, guys.
Let's
Appreciate
go,
it.
Declan. Glad to have you here. What have you been up to?
Just been traveling, had the Giles Trials for the CJI, and then came back here ready to get ready for this Who's Number One match.
Nice. Are you feeling energized? You feeling amped up about life and everything right now?
Ready to go, getting skinny,
Nice.
ready to scrap.
Let's go. Well, I want to kick it off. I got a gift for you, all right? We're going to grab these gifts, and I'll be right back.
Where's Trey going?
Let's go.
We're a big gifting podcast. We like to try to kind of bring some gifts on for the guests. So
That's good because we just take from our guests. Oh, shit.
The white monsters.
Let's go.
We had to,
Cold, too.
ice cold.
Wonderful.
Wow.
Not getting paid for this, not getting nothing, just doing it for the love of the game, letting people know, spreading the good word.
Yep.
You know the way to my heart.
Of course, we had to kick this off with the white monsters. Do you want to say like a toast or anything, a cheers before we get going?
Hey, shout out to the boys here at Flow and shout out to the White Monster podcast.
White
let's go.
monsters.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers, boys.
Yeah, Declan has the White Monster podcast. He's been kicking up and everything, obviously. Huge White Monster guy.
This is my first ever white monster. I've never had it before.
Really?
So
About to change his
It's
life.
life-changing. You know the amount of people that message me and they're like, I never had one until I watched the podcast and now I can't stop.
dude, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It's actually way better than I thought it was going to be.
You thought it was just going to be terrible?
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to like it, but like I could drink that whole thing probably for sure.
Oh, you will.
You'll have one
If
and
not,
then maybe
one of
like
us
2 or
will,
3.
yeah.
What's the most amount of white monsters you've had in one day?
I think I've hit 6.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Declan.
Yeah.
That's too many.
I was a younger man. You know?
Were you just wired? Were you just going?
I think I was traveling. I think I'd done a big travel day. I was just every stop just
Downing them.
just powering them.
You do them on planes then?
Not anymore.
Okay.
I was like, why can't I sleep on planes? And I realized pretty quick. Now I'm just out like a light. I'm like, it was something.
So this isn't just like, a bit. You've been living the white monster life quietly probably for a while, and now it's just kind of came to light, huh?
Yeah, I've always drank these, even back in the day. Like, as soon as I started training at M16, all the boys drink them. So we've been hammering them from day one since the white one came out.
What is it about the white monster? Just taste the best?
It tastes the best, 0 calories, so that's a bonus too. You got to love the chemicals.
Yeah, that's my favorite part.
Yeah, hyped up for this podcast.
Yeah, for sure. All the different chemicals you can consume these days is
All the better.
It's incredible. I heard they're doing away with Red 40. I don't know what that's about, dude, but that's BS. All right.
We got rid of that 20 years ago in Australia. So, when I came over here, the best thing ever was there was some like bread on the side that had been left for 3 days. I kept throwing it in the bin, and the person I was living with lost their mind. I was like, bread only lasts 3 days. They're like, it lasts 3 weeks. I was like, what's going on in the food here?
Hey, man. Advanced technology here in America.
Welcome to
dude.
America.
Yeah.
No wonder it tastes like cake.
Yeah. Our food lasts forever. And
funny.
don't look into it. Just be happy about it.
It's saving me money at least.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
knew
man.
this. I knew this Olympian who did not necessarily have their diet all the way dialed in. A lot of times when you get around high performing athletes, you'd be surprised like how bad some of their diets can be. Right? I don't mean you. But
It's true though.
he would go on about how like leading up to competitions you need to eat like a Snickers or something because the preservatives will preserve your body. And then your body will be able to preserve longer.
You're just
when you get into
housing
competition.
Snickers.
Yeah.
So he's just eating a bunch of junk food. It's like, I feel like this might be cope. I feel like you might just be
Yeah.
like, I really want to eat junk food.
Well, Snickers are.
I'm partial to a Snickers
yeah,
myself.
Snickers are where it's at. So
So we kind of
Nothing against the fine folks at Snickers.
Yeah. Later in the episode, we're going to rank some of the monsters, because I really want to ask you what other ones you like, but we'll save it kind of towards the end. We'll go through and do the full tier list, all the monsters. But we kind of brought it up earlier, the Giles Trials, you were doing that. What was that experience like? What was it like going back to Australia to compete in that Trials?
It was nice. It was like, it was good to be home. I've referenced it a couple times. It's funny because it was like, I felt like I'd put in a lot of work to be recognized, and then to go do this Trials, I was like, I have to let everyone know that I've got to put on a show here, I got to really put on the best performance to prove that, like, this was my spot to begin with, Like, it was like inside I felt almost hurt about doing these trials, so I was like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to show everyone that it should have been me the whole time.
For sure.
I think we have actually some video there.
footage
I think
here.
this is maybe your final.
This was the fourth match that you had. If you win this match by submission, you are officially on the team.
Declan, you are looking way smaller. Like, looking at you right here on this video and seeing you right now, I'm like, whoa, you are actually cutting more than I thought for this.
Slimming up. Here, I was already starting to lose some of the weight. Here, I was probably like 220. Normally walking around 230 something, 232. Prior
all
to
muscle.
That. I wish. All carbo bubs, maybe. But, now I'm walking around closer to 215 right now, 216.
Nice.
Ready for my debut at 205.
What was I thought one of the interesting things about this was kind of like the 3/4 pit situation.
Yeah.
Like, obviously it's like, it's a, CJI got to have the pit involved somehow, but they obviously couldn't pull off the full. Did that make it weird? Like, there being one side where I guess just was non-pitted?
Yeah, it was obviously for the viewership, but it didn't really play a huge factor except in this match. This match, Bob and I, shout out to Bob, he's one of the greatest competitors Australia's ever had. See here, I ran him into the corner there. Bob and I ran to this side quite a lot. I think neither of us really wanted to circle to the wall. So outside of this, I don't think it played a huge factor.
Have you grappled with the wall much?
A little bit for helping out Nick Rod for the CJI last year, but because I did ADCC, I didn't spend as much time on the
Stayed
wall.
away from it a little bit.
But I taught for the past many years, primarily at an MMA gym. So we've been working with the boys for MMA on the wall, like the wall wrestling and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm not unfamiliar. We can transfer some of those skills to the slanted wall. Another thing about this slanted wall, it was actually more vertical than your traditional wall and shorter. So it was a little bit
harder to actually
harder
walk
to
up.
work on, You'll see I use it more, like you can lean on it a little bit more, as opposed to like your 45-degree wall.
Yeah.
Have you competed against Bob there before in the past? You guys have a relationship?
Bob and I competed in a 20-minute sub-only match a few years ago prior to this, but it'd been a long time. But yeah, that one went to overtime. I won in overtime, but he's an exceptional competitor.
And then how about just like the overall vibe? We were just talking a minute ago about just kind of these in the gym tournaments and just having, I assume, a lot of your friends, a lot of guys you've trained with and stuff from Australia all right there. What was that kind of vibe in the room?
Yeah, because it was in Melbourne and it sold out so fast, not many guys from Adelaide actually came, so I didn't have any of outside of Lachlan Conway, whose gym I taught at, and Adam Jones, who's Craig Jones' taller, uglier brother.
I feel like a lot of people are scared of Craig. I'm starting to become more scared of
Adam.
Mr. Jones, BJJ. I've seen him go at people. I'm like, whoa, dude, I want to get attacked by two Joneses.
He's relentless for sure on the internet. Him and Craig definitely hone their skills together. But what surprises people is they see Craig and then see Adam and don't realize Adam's 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
So it catches people off guard how big that guy is with the skull tat.
Yeah. Craig's a big boy too. Craig he was always listing himself at like 5'11" and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, Craig is a big boy.
Yeah, he's deceptively big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny though.
This is funny. This is like where I train with Nick Rod all the time. You could see it. I was like letting my foot be exposed, ready to counterattack, because I was like, if Nick Rod hasn't broken me yet, I feel pretty safe.
You want to go back there, Joe, and maybe you could talk us through it some more, like the finish here and everything.
With the rule set being so submission orientated, you see here, I set Bob back in the 50-50. This was like, I just started to wrestle up, and then I decided I would have a better submission opportunity playing the bottom here. And when we're in the 50-50, you see he's doing a good job keeping either my hand occupied or like hiding his heel. He plays between this. And this is where I start to expose my toes a little bit here when I switch off. And this is when he starts to turn his hips looking for my foot in like a toe hold. But during this, I slide my elbow inside of his feet here, you see. So now I feel safe that if he is to commit both of his hands to my foot, I'm going to heist my hips and I'm going to catch that heel. And it's a good trade-off, the toe hold versus the heel hook here.
Yeah, you can eat a bit more of a toe hold than you can a heel hook. So
yeah, and this is where I just found out that I had won $5,000, so I was pretty stoked on
let's
that.
go. Did you go straight to Bali and blow it all?
I shout out to Miles who runs M16. He put me up in a hotel for this. That was in the casino. So
so you turned that $5,000 into 50 right away.
that's exactly what happened.
yeah. Bought a whole bunch of white monsters and just stayed up all night.
Yeah.
Nice, man. So overall, was Giles Trials, was it a good time?
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun to compete in front of everyone back home. You know, I built like my career in Australia and know all those guys super well, so it's nice to be home and compete.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask a question about the Giles Trials. You had a chance to compete against an Australian legend who you're actually going to share the WNO card with here, Kit Dale. Can you tell me a little bit about how that was, just, you know, being able to go out there, fight a guy like Kit who's just been doing this forever and, you know, kind of, you know, help put the scene on early on?
Yeah, Kit's the man. It's funny. I got to like speak to Kit afterwards and just tell him what an honor it was. When I started jiu-jitsu, I was like 13, and I think it was my first ever or second competition, something like that. I was doing the kids division, and Kit flew into Adelaide for a competition called the Synergy Pro, and he was a brown belt at the time, and we didn't really have any competitive brown belts in Adelaide at the time. We had a couple black belt Brazilian guys that had moved, but no one in brown belt was really competing at the time, and he just smoked everyone. And I was like, man, I want to be like that guy one day.
Yeah, kind of like saw what was
possible,
yeah.
you know? And then so all those years later, get to have the match with Kit was pretty exceptional for me. Like, it was like a huge match for me, just getting to share the mat with that guy.
That's awesome. So you kind of mentioned this maybe before we were recording, right? But you, Craig, Isaac, and someone else, right, are all from Adelaide?
Yeah, all from Adelaide, yeah.
So you did you know these guys like way earlier, way younger? Do you know like a young Craig Jones? What was that like?
Craig...
Pre-addiction?
He was already 12, so...
Yeah, I knew Craig and his brother for a very long time, like when Craig was like maybe even a white or a blue belt, like super early days. I trained at a different gym, but we were always in contact. And then Isaac, I started training at the gym that I was training at the time, so I knew him since he started jiu-jitsu, you know, and like we used to like stay over each other's house. We'd live like 5 minutes down the road from each other. We'd like train, and then we'd train on his front lawn, and yeah.
That's awesome.
I've known him a very long time.
This is, you know, maybe I'm wrong here. You can correct me, but the American perception, I just picture you guys like, go doing a little jiu-jitsu and then going out and like capturing like a big snake or an alligator or something and bringing it back and wrestling with it. Is that, were you guys doing a little bit of that or no?
Not quite. We'd hit the beach a little bit, but maybe see a few rays, but that's about it. I've seen almost more snakes here than I have back home already.
Yeah, there are a lot of snakes in
crazy.
Austin, to be honest. I'm kind of always terrified. Like, go out on a trail, and I'm kind of just looking around. I hate snakes. I'm terrified.
Oh, really? No, they don't bother me too much. You just see them.
They don't have legs. So
yeah, what's up with that?
They just slither around. Like, it's spooky.
Good. You can run away fast.
They're always up to something, you know?
They are. That's true. They're always just waiting for something to go down.
Yeah. So, you know, was the scene back then when you started, when you were 13 in Australia, like how does it compare to the scene now? Like,
it's massive now. No one even knew what jiu-jitsu was back then. I sort of just found the sport through watching the UFC, and then trained at a gym. It was like 40 minutes away. That was the closest one to me. And then it just continued to grow and grow and grow. It's been cool to be part of it and see it expand, you know, like we in Adelaide, especially because it's a smaller city, we had one tournament every year. That was it. We had the state titles and that was it.
No pressure.
Yeah. The state jiu-jitsu titles,
Yeah,
that was
the
like...
South Australian Jiu-Jitsu Championship. That was it.
Wow.
All year.
So it's just like everybody would kind of flock to that and you would just...
Yeah, it was funny. It was like gang warfare back then too. It was like 3 gyms that would like contend for the state title, like over the team points, and everyone would rock up in their shirt. It looked like gangs, you know. So no one would talk to anyone back then. It was very serious business, you know. All the white and blue belts, you know.
And then Kid Dale, the lone brown belt.
Yeah, just smoking anyone who could enter the brown belt division.
That's awesome. Was there a lot of pressure back in that day, you know, had to put on for your team?
Yeah, I remember I must have been a juvenile blue belt and I was competing with the adults and I fought this guy, Sean D'Ambrosio. He's an amazing grappler, even to this day, a very close friend of mine now. And we fought in the final and Sean looks like he's carved out of stone and I certainly did not at 16, 17 years old. I was built like a twig, you know. And we had this match in the final, and that match determined what team won the state championship.
Oh, wow.
No pressure.
Oh, man. And the first thing someone said to me when I lost the match by, I think he passed my guard or something. I lost, and they came off and was like, well, we lost the team title. I was like, thanks.
Good job, Declan.
Amazing.
The team
Put
was
it on the kid,
devastated.
you know?
A lot of people lost a lot of matches this weekend.
Yeah, let's not forget how we got to this being the decider, everybody.
Yeah.
Nice. I had a similar thing, junior high wrestling. I got called up to the A team because one of our guys quit, you know. Next man up, I was ready. And we basically were at the Joplin something tournament, and it comes down to my match, but not as quite high of stakes. I just couldn't be pinned. As long as I didn't get pinned, we would win the title. And I pulled out some, you know, high level strategy. Every time I would get close to getting pinned, I would freaking, you know, hit my chin strap into my mouth and start bleeding, get blood time, reset. So I kept buying myself more time. Finally, I lost on points, no pin, we won. I was a hero.
You're a
that
hero.
That is a pretty expert move.
yeah, dude. You get blood time in wrestling, so you know, as long as you can just keep, you know,
Keep punching
keep
yourself in the
bleeding.
mouth.
Yeah, it's like you're good. So you know, I did what I had to do that day. Not to rub it in, but that could have been
Could
you.
have been
But
I'll let you know how it feels.
I'll never know the feeling of winning the 2014 South Australian team title, you know?
yeah, that's it. This is pretty. It was probably like 2013, 2014 job. So maybe same day. We could have been, you know, two
Opposite sides of the coin.
Yeah, two very different stories.
Butterfly effect. You never know how it would have gone.
Yeah, and look at us now. We've both ended up here.
That's it.
Nice. What else? Are you got a question?
Well, I was just gonna say what was like the moment in your jiu-jitsu journey where you really kind of took things to the next level, or really kind of like rounded that corner of kind of this professional jiu-jitsu that you're on now?
It's an interesting question. I was training a lot, like when I was younger, around 16, 17, started to take it more seriously. When I was 17, I did the Worlds for the first time, a juvenile too, a blue belt, and then
Gi? No gi?
gi.
Ooh.
Gi. And I lost in the quarterfinals, perennial quarterfinals loser in the gi.
Bummer.
Same.
It would have just been nice to have one medal, you know. But yeah, that's sort of what turned me, seeing that event, and I was like,
Oh wow.
I remember that event was so clear. It was like, that's I believe the year Penna made his black belt debut, and that was cool. I got to fight him on Who's Number One all those years later, and sort of like watching him. It was him and Andre in the final, I believe, and watching him, I was like, wow. And then all those years later to fight him was super cool. And that
Legends.
Leandro too was like my favorite guy. And then watching him fight that world title. Yeah, and then I came home and just started training more and more. And then the next year I ended up spending a lot of time in Japan. Roberto Satoshi and Marcus Souza came to Australia to do some tournaments. And then I ended up going and training with those guys at Bonsai in Japan. And just like, those guys are exceptional. They helped me so much. Like,
That's awesome.
over there.
You spend a lot of time in Japan?
Total, I've probably done over a year total there.
Wow.
That's
With
great.
the guys, yeah.
Me and Reed are going to Japan next week.
For
Yeah.
the Asian.
Yeah, going to the Asian Championship.
Yeah. Yeah. Say hey to all my friends over there, the Bonsai boys. I know Big Marlin and the boys are all competing, so looking forward to seeing them do well.
Nice. We'll say what's up to them.
Yeah, please.
That's
What,
cool.
what was it like training with Roberto Satoshi? Because I really do think, like, if you took guys from, like, over the last 10 years, like, kind of when FloGrappling has been around, Satoshi is, like, so underrated for, like, how awesome his jiu-jitsu was.
I don't think to this day anyone's beat me as bad. Maybe Joseph. Joseph beats me pretty bad. But Roberto Satoshi, beat the hell out of me every day, and would like a lot of my passing actually comes from him too. Like as I don't know, a lot of my thought on like how to pass a guard came from him and his brothers, and then he's just a monster. Like I don't think we ever really got to see his best before he moved to MMA. And it was super unfortunate that year. He hurt his shoulder in the final because he was on fire, you know.
Big time. Yeah, that was him and Lepre, I think it was in the
final,
finals.
yeah.
Yeah, it was all set up to be an awesome finals. Like 10 seconds in, he hurts his shoulder on the first time they touch each other. Basically, he separates his shoulder.
Yeah, he had such a run. He beat like Lange and all the guys in the run that year too.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. You kind of brought up Worlds and how that was like seeing that and everything, And I feel like now, one, because there's just so much like turnover in jiu-jitsu. There's so many new blue belts like every 9 months and stuff who probably have never even seen the world championship, to be honest, especially with like in America, the emphasis on no-gi. And I obviously love the gi and no-gi. Like I love the world championship. I think it's one of the most special tournaments there is. I love ADCC. I love all these like no-gi super fights and everything, Are you still a fan of like the world championship in the gi, or have you kind of shifted more and just kind of only really as a fan liking the no-gi stuff, or do you still watch or anything?
I probably watch athletes more than the tournament now. Wardzinski, what a man. He's like he's such an inspiration, a guy who like just pushed and pushed and pushed and then just became so like exceptional. Like he's had these runs now. I was sad to see him put the belt down,
Mm-hmm.
But that, and Jensen Gomez too, every time he's fighting in the worlds, I go to watch those matches. He's so exciting.
Yeah. Definitely two of the top must-watch guys, in my opinion. I think Adam, we saw a lot of Adam this year. Who knows how much we're going to see now with kind of his retirement from the World Championship and everything. I'm sure he'll still jump into a lot of stuff or Masters, But Jansen is like, we've talked about this before, Jansen is one of the most, like, he doesn't compete a ton, It's like he's very good at like, I don't even know if it's intentional or not, but he's like, he just like drops his name in here and there. So it's like, oh shit, we get Jansen Gomez this weekend. Like,
it's
you
like
gotta
must
watch.
see.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. But but yeah, I don't know. I think the Worlds is a special tournament, especially being there, like the atmosphere when all the teams are like backing their guy in the finals and everything. Like it's a pretty unmatched like environment and everything. Obviously, ADCC brings that same type of crazy energy.
Yeah.
CJI, I'm sure, is going to bring that again this year. They brought it last year and everything. So
yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll put the gear on one more time.
I was going to say, we get you in the gi or?
One tournament I will do again. I'm pretty determined to do the Asian Open one more time at least.
Sick.
That would be sick, dude.
Yeah. You don't get to train too much in the gi these days?
No, not at all. But if I was to do that, I'd probably go back to Japan for a month, train with the guys at Bonsai, get used to the gi again.
Gotcha. You should come through Paragon at some point. That's where we train.
Yeah,
we train a lot in the gi.
I'd love to.
Yeah, you should definitely come through.
I got to get a gi.
Yeah.
That might be a problem.
We can hook you up with a
We'll
gi.
hook you up.
This we can do.
Somebody get Declan a gi right now. Somebody watching, send a gi.
A3.
Yeah, there we go. Nice. I'm an A3 as well. Gracie Baja made me wear an A4. They said I was a big boy. I was like,
really?
what are you guys trying to say?
It's when they hand me the A4 belt, I get offended.
Yeah. Well, I will say, dude, sometimes when you see people get promoted in the gi and they like give them like an A2 or something, but maybe they've put on some pounds over here and it's really small. It's like, oh, that kind of sucks.
Go around once.
Yeah. It's like the yellow and blue, like whenever you have to put it on. But nice, bro. Yeah, I saw B Team there was like a little stretch where you guys were training in the gi. Some people throwing it on.
Yeah, there's a couple guys that are really good in the gi still. And then when Owen and Joseph are in town too, they like to put it on and have a bit of fun. Those guys are good in the gi.
Yeah.
Sick.
How's your passing in the gi? Still got sick passing?
Yeah, I play guard entirely
really?
in the gi.
Lasso guard?
Well, yeah, lasso, spider lasso. When I was competing in the gi, I was also competing at middleweight, so I'd have to test out the new pressure, But if I can get a collar grip and maybe the hip and pull myself in, I think we'll be good.
Dude, you'd be a problem for the ultra heavyweight division or super heavyweight division, whichever.
Yeah, I think you would move so well that you could definitely cause some disruption there.
Yeah, hopefully. Let's see. Maybe next year.
That'd be awesome. Let us know.
Crown?
This podcast was actually our slow manipulation of getting
Put me
Declan
back in the game.
Yeah. You brought up Leandro also, and I know you said Satoshi was like where you got a lot of your passing and everything, but was Leandro a big inspiration as well? Because I do feel like there's similarities in
For
how
sure.
you and Leandro
For
pass.
sure. Like the old BJJ Scout videos of Leandro's passing, that was like me.
Classics.
I'd be like in high school, I'd be like, all right, let's just watch this instead.
Those videos were all the
Sitting in
rage.
class watching.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, Declan. I'll leave the next segment up to you. This is a segmented show where they're always telling us we got to do segments, so we keep it very segmented. Do you want to rank monsters next, or do you want to go into who's number one?
Let's do who's number one, and we'll
All
move
right,
on
we'll
to
save the monsters
after.
for the end.
Protect.
All right, so obviously you're going to be on Who's Number 128. It's this week, Friday, June 13th. So pretty big card. Got Mika fighting Jonatas for the middleweight belt. Shanji versus Kit Dale. We talked about Kit Dale, and then you're going to be fighting Felipe Andrew. Here's the full card right here for anyone watching at home that needs a quick glimpse. Originally, we were going to have the heavyweight belt on the line, Felipe Pena versus Luke Griffith. Obviously, that's a massive fight that I think everyone was stoked on, especially getting the heavyweight belt back in the mix. But that one had to be postponed. Felipe, he suffered an injury, so we're kind of moving that one to a later card, but still pretty sick. But just overall, I guess, are you excited to be back on Who's Number One? This is your third Who's Number One match, right?
Yeah, 3 for 3 Felipe's here. So.
Oh,
True.
dang.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I'm super excited. I love it.
Felipe Slayer.
I accept one of them beat me.
Well, 2 for 1, you can still call it.
Yeah, let's hope this one goes well.
Sakuraba had to lose to a Gracie somewhere in there, right? Gracie Hunter. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, man, these events are so cool. It's like one of those things I watched like before I moved to the States. I just wanted to be part of. Part of the reason I moved out here was for opportunities like this. So every time you guys invite me, I'll never say no.
Definitely. We're always stoked to have you.
Heck
Just
yeah.
so you know, I think you're one of the best guys to work with, to be honest. So you're always welcome.
Oh, good. I
Stuff
appreciate
at Who's
that.
Number One. But let's look back at your Who's Number One debut against Felipe Larangina, Six Blades guy. Trials winner. He had some wins at ADCC and everything. What was your thoughts going into this one? This one at this time, it was Trials winner versus Trials winner, right?
Yeah.
This is before
Right before ADCC.
ADCC.
Yeah, I think this was the last event any of us really did before ADCC. Going into this, it was like, it's hard because the Asian Trials winner always sort of gets overlooked. We were always traditionally the lowest seed, so I looked at this as an opportunity to increase my seed. If I could beat the first South American Trials winner, it looks really good going into the event.
Big time.
And it's funny, we were talking about this before. A few of the Six Blades guys coming down with Victor in prep for CJI, and Felipe Costa is now one of my main training partners. He's been super helpful in this camp, doing a lot of the comp rounds with me, so he's been a big help.
Did you watch him on the trials? Did you see his performance?
I did. I sort of knew what to expect in terms of like he's super dangerous. In a similar sense to Felipe Andrews, super dangerous. He can snap on a submission at any time. He's got to be super wary the whole time. He's never out of the match, no matter what.
I feel like you kind of caught Felipe right before he broke out in a lot of ways, because like right after he has the ADCC performance, he's on the podium, then he wins Nogi Worlds, has a great performance there, beats Ferris, beats a bunch of tough guys. So I feel like this was like right before he really broke out in a lot of ways. So like, yeah, people might not even remember like how impactful a match this was.
This was a well-aged victory for me. You take these ones. Every time he has a match now, I'm like, yes, keep winning.
Yeah, dude.
Craig does that too. I feel.
Yeah. Craig and
Fights
Ty.
Ty Rotolo early on and fights all these guys early.
Maybe it's the Australian strategy.
Yeah.
Jeremy Skinner, shout out. He's had some of the best age victories too. He's a big part of my camps and my training in general now. He oversees quite a lot of what I do.
Nice. Does he come to B Team also? I know he's been there before and everything.
He has been there. He runs an online platform, Atomic Dojo, that he's helping me through and just helps me sort of change a few things, like alter little things and just improve my game as a whole.
Have you always been a guard passer?
No, I played guard almost exclusively for like the first 10 years of my jiu-jitsu. I've always done okay when I've come on top and started to pass, but my primary game was was definitely guard until I came to the US and I started wrestling with JB and my wrestling coach back home, Taylor Ford. She wrestled in the Olympics last year, so she helped me a lot.
Wow.
I actually, there was a time I wasn't sure if it was the same you I was watching because I thought that I remembered a Declan Moody at 77 who was playing guard.
Yes.
And then I saw Declan Moody at 99 passing guard. And I genuinely was like, maybe there are two. Maybe there's just two of them that are really good.
My first trials was at 77 in Japan. That was a brutal cut. I was probably like closer to 88 at the time. And I remember the last part of the cut, I was in this like Japanese capsule hotel, and I was like, I've got like a kilo and something left to cut. So I was like in the shower just blasting hot water, but you couldn't have the light on because the fan would turn on. So I'm in the shower in the dark doing star jumps, just trying to sweat out the last kilo in this capsule hotel. Oh, it was a nightmare.
Brutal.
Nice. Star jumps. That's the Australian
jumping jacks.
We didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah. The Australian-American language barrier there, you know, star jumps.
Yeah, I'm bad too because I was born in the UK. My family's from the UK, so I have this like triple sort of vocabulary where sometimes I'll use English terms, American terms,
Nice.
Australian terms.
Japanese
Yeah.
thrown in there a bit.
Yeah.
Luckily, my Japanese never got very good. You know, it was quite poor.
Do you know any Japanese words?
Yeah. I when I was living there, I could get around. Now it's nice when Kenta and Daiki come and train. I try a little bit, but it's not good anymore.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
What's like a few words me and Reed should know? I know 0 words total.
That's a good point. What should you know? You should definitely just like every time someone gives you anything, it's like arigato gozaimashita, which is like thank you very much. Just like sort of things to just be polite because the culture there is very much based on like being polite and things like that.
Yeah, like polite and humble type of
Yeah.
stuff.
Uh-oh,
Just
boys.
little things.
Yeah. What if I come in real cocky and just like,
It's in Tokyo. You'll get away with it.
okay.
Where I lived in Hamamatsu, it was like a lot of people had not seen a white person in that city before. You know, they're like looking and like
Yeah.
people would come up. And take
Never mind a
photos.
white monster. So
Yeah, it's nice. So as this match is going on and
Shogun,
everything,
season 2,
Yeah.
Declan style.
are you at this point in the match? You know, you've kind of already had a couple back takes, near back takes, some good passing. Are you kind of like at this point like letting it rip a little more? Are you feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling confident. I always find once I pass a guard once, I can do it over and over again. You know, the confidence is built. I know that there's cracks in the armor, and I can start to apply more and more pressure over time. The thing is, I was quite frustrated that I lost the back, but this is something Nicky Rod actually talks about. Like, he talks about these like high and low points in matches where like if something goes wrong, it's immediately erased, and we're going back to being offensive. He actually said that because I believe he got reset as I fell off the back, and he's like, it's gone, start again. You know, it's like he's very handy for little tools like that mentally.
And how are you kind of like when you approach competition from a mental standpoint? Like, you know, obviously you've competed a lot. Do you still feel the nerves and everything? Like, what's your kind of mental state for a match?
Everyone feels nervous.
Sure,
I
sure.
think if you don't feel nervous, you probably don't care enough, you know. But it's like, I've said this a few times. Nothing in my life really changes if I win or lose a match. You know, my parents are still going to be there. My girlfriend, my friends. None of my friends have ever left me because I've lost a match. You know, so it's really
Not yet.
well, it's true. But it's like I'm sort of indifferent to it. You know, winning
Yeah.
and losing now. I just want to go out and prove that I'm going to be one of the best to ever do it. You know.
For sure. What do you kind of, when you're approaching someone that you know is going to have a good guard, like obviously Felipe Costa has a good guard, you know, you probably knew that going in, he was probably going to sit and play guard. Is there anything you're looking for right away? Is there like stuff you're trying to get into whenever you're kind of approaching someone with a tough guard?
When I'm approaching someone with a tough guard, I just like to put a lot of pressure early, you know. I just want to see how they're going to deal with the pressure of my passing, you know. Because even if they've got a good guard, if they're not like determined to recover, then I know I'm going to break them super early. Felipe definitely didn't have that. He was game to try and recover the whole time. I had to work really hard each time to pass his guard, but I'm just trying to break people.
Man, that underhook is just killer in this match.
Working for you.
Yeah, that far underhook, you're catching the arm over and over again.
Very Leandro Low style with that far underhook, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
But also, my passing has to be credited to Joe Chen, you know. that kid like changed my game more than anyone. I think
Really?
For me, he's like the biggest influence in my game now for the past like 3 years that I've known him.
That's wild, dude. I feel like everyone we kind of talked to who's spent an extended amount of time with Joseph Chin and or knows him well and everything kind of speaks so highly of him. And I still feel like everyone kind of knows now Joe Chin and how he's like one of the best, minds in jiu-jitsu right now. But what is it about Joseph that's kind of, I guess, just so different that impacts so many people?
I think he just has, like you say, he has the mind for the sport. He's determined to learn and progress and be better each time. Every time he trains so smart and educated. It's like impossible for him not to get better. And I'll go out and I'll say he's the best jiu-jitsu athlete in the world right now. Like,
Really?
Yeah, if he had the size, he could beat anyone. And even without the size, I think he'll beat anyone. He, in my opinion, is undoubtedly the greatest jiu-jitsu athlete.
That's wild. I think he's another guy similar to Jansen. We don't see compete a ton. He's definitely active, but like you don't always see him. But he's another must-watch type of guy.
Yeah, he's a guy I think would like not compete if he didn't have to.
Yeah.
He would be happy just progressing on his own. But like he's goes out there, competes when he can. You'll see him at CJI do very well, I think. Mm-hmm. Hopefully not against my team.
Yeah. What is your full team now? It's
the Australian team is, I'm going to be the plus 99, and Bilal's going to be minus. And then we have Lucas Cainard at 88, Levi 77, and we used our wild card on Fabricio Andre, who I think for a 66er is the best guy to fight any big guys.
For sure, yeah. Because it's that quintet style, so who knows like how the matches could end up shaking out. But yeah, Fabricio in that Polaris, right? He beat Giancarlo. Did he beat Kynan or just like
he had a good match. He beat Owen Livesley.
Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah.
So Fabricio can fight all the big guys, and I'll take all the 66s.
Yeah, there you go.
Good trade.
Yeah.
Are you stoked about kind of? I know Craig's talked about like the Royal Rumble style entrance. Sending a guy from the back with the music hitting and everything. You stoked for that?
Yeah. I watched wrestling growing up as a kid. I loved it. So for me, this is like unreal.
Yeah. You still watch?
No, not so much. I keep my finger on the pulse a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah, kind of WWE it like hit like a new major resurgence, got really hot again. I heard recently the Raw ratings were they crashed, but I don't know. Did you watch Money in the Bank over the weekend?
No, I haven't watched any of the pay-per-views. I tend to watch the Royal Rumble, but even I missed that this year. But
dang, dude. So you didn't see Seth Rollins become the second ever 2-time men's Money in the Bank winner?
I didn't.
This weekend?
I'm glad to know that.
You didn't see Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso beat Logan Paul and John Cena?
I actually did see that on a highlight on Instagram.
All right, good. And did you see Mr. Iguana debut on the WWE Worlds Collide card earlier in the day Saturday?
I certainly didn't.
Dude,
You gotta get on this guy.
Can you Google Mr. Iguana? I think WWE posted a highlight of their Worlds Collide. This guy, I mean, I got to talk about Mr. Iguana, dude. This is currently the best gimmick in all of pro wrestling, if you ask me. This guy, Mr. Iguana, right here. Yeah. Hopefully we can watch. Surely we can watch this. It's on.
We're offering
on YouTube.
commentary and such.
Yeah. Maybe try to skip to where
he brings out.
Yeah, where he brings out.
It looks like
the iguana.
Is he about to bring it out right now?
Just give us your thoughts on this. If you're a pro wrestling fan, from back in the day as a kid, what do you think of this guy, Mr. Iguana, right here?
Oh, no way. It reminds me of like AAA down in Mexico. Some of the wild.
They purchased AAA. Yeah,
there you go.
I mean,
Yeah, this makes sense then.
This makes a lot of sense.
that the iguana starts.
This is like a much safer Jake the Snake Roberts.
Look at this guy. And I'm pretty sure Mr. Iguana is a jiu-jitsu guy. I'm pretty sure they say on commentary that he's an athlete to be taken seriously and that he trains some jiu-jitsu as well.
I mean, look at
I
that.
think you're taking him seriously.
It
What about this guy
fit in at B team, we got a couple characters.
So are you considering maybe coming out dressed as Mr. Iguana for Who's Number One?
For who's number one?
Maybe more of a main character thing.
Yeah, that's a perfect opportunity.
So we're big on Mr. Iguana now.
Yeah, this guy's awesome.
This
And
is
he-
our weekly Mr. Iguana segment. And
he-
Mr. Iguana segment.
He really did steal the show from the fact that he's fighting a luchador guy who's like a cat. Like, I don't know if you've even noticed, but this is like a cat man that he's fighting. He keeps licking his...
The cat versus the iguana.
Yeah, dude. This is high-level stuff right here. Look at this. And then this is...
Oh yeah,
the crowd starts going nuts right here because he starts beating up the
iguana.
Yeah.
the crowd is just booing and
Big heel
screaming.
turn.
Yeah.
The elbow drop on the iguana is excessive.
Yeah, I mean, that's nuts, right? But, you mess with the Iguana, you get Mr. Iguana here. And so he steps up and...
Oh, my God. How hilarious is this?
It's crazy that you recognize that this was AAA.
Yeah.
So you're kind of a real...
Deep knowledge.
Yeah, deep knowledge.
So should we just keep watching it?
Yeah, I mean, this is...
watch,
don't worry about
watch
it.
the whole
Awesome.
match.
I'm following the crowd here.
Yeah. All right, there we go. There's a taste of Mr. Iguana for everybody at home. Is this kind of stuff you talk about on the White Monster podcast?
Well, I think we're going to have to steal the Mr. Iguana segment.
Yeah, you can have it, dude. Maybe throw a little credit to us. Don't give credit to AAA. We saw this on the FloGrappling show, Mr. Iguana. Yeah. All right, nice, Declan. I got some hard-hitting questions now for you. This is now that we've passed the Mr. Iguana segment, we're into the hard-hitting question segment. And I think this is going to be a good question for you because a lot of guys can answer this one right away. Doesn't take much thought. But you're a guard player turned guard passer. And so the question I have for you, if there's a one-to-one clone of Declan Moody, all right, just knows everything you know, exact attributes, everything, would you be able to pass your own guard?
Oh, yeah. I'm getting minced. The guard player's getting torn apart.
Oh, man. So you're not bringing back any of the old school Declan guard player aspects, huh?
I might get swept once, but that's it.
Just overcommitting on the pass. Get yourself.
That would be such a rock, paper, scissors at the beginning to figure out which one of us is going to have to actually sit.
Yeah, we know which one's winning from the jump,
Whoever goes down first. Would you be able to take yourself down?
Oh, interesting. I'd probably break my own leg for something, It's just clashing. We'd go over under body lock and trying to lat drop each other or something.
Just back and forth.
Yeah,
Eat or be eaten.
that's it.
What about submitting yourself? Would you be able to submit yourself?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. The guy on top's taking the back and finishing.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. So you're not trusting your own defense?
The defense is okay, but it's not as good as the offense, that's for sure.
Gotcha.
We saw that with the EBI I did,
Yeah.
It was funny. Ryan Aitken asked my friend JB, he's like, how many backgrounds has he done? And I told JB prior, I was like, well, I figure I'll get to the back in the rounds, we'll worry about it then.
Yeah, those will be my background. Nice. All right, so you're obviously going to be competing against Felipe Andrew on this WNO card. What was your first thought whenever you got hit up? And I'm sure it was Ricardo who probably hit you up and was like, hey, we got a spot for you. Do you want this match? And then you found out it'd be against Felipe Andrew. What was your thoughts overall on that?
Yeah, I was excited. I'm always excited. I think he just asked if I want to compete. I said yes. It doesn't even matter the name, I'm always down just to compete. But yeah, then when I saw it was Felipe Andrew, it was perfect. After watching his CJI performance, it was exceptional. So I always look to test myself against the best guys, and this is the sort of match I want.
Yes.
Another gi guy, kind of moving over to no gi.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be interesting. His style still has that gi sort of. He has very gi style attacks, but just very well rounded.
Yeah. So I'm assuming, did you watch this and everything? You watched
Yeah. I've watched. This is a great match. He's very scrambly, no-gi, very hard to hold down. He has a lot of good counters, especially in the wrestling, and his switches and things are very nice.
Yeah, I think, to be honest...
expecting him to be shirtless at WNO? Do you think that's a big part of the game?
I don't think we can be shirtless, so who's number one, can we?
I don't think you can.
No.
Yeah. But you can try it out.
Maybe if I see myself at 205 and I look a little bit more lean, a little bit, the abs are popping a little bit, maybe I'll try and
at least walk out shirtless.
Yeah, I'll put the rash guard on the sidelines.
Yeah,
but,
you're definitely allowed to take your shirt off immediately after the match.
Yeah, Nicky Rod has really honed that skill.
Oh, dude, the time from match ending to Nicky Rod going shirtless is it's negative seconds.
I'm scared I'm going to get tangled up in the rash guard and embarrass myself. I think I might just leave it
all
on.
stuck where it's wait.
Yeah.
Sometimes those rash guards feel a little too tight.
Yeah.
Nice. But so I guess maybe if you could just talk through a little bit of Felipe's game and stuff that you saw and everything, what kind of stands out to you in Felipe in a no-gi setting?
Yeah, like I said, he's very well rounded. He's good on top and bottom. His best attribute is that he's dangerous. Very dangerous, very snappy upper body submissions, and he also incorporates any defense into very nice lower body submissions. We know traditionally he's got a very good straight ankle lock, but he also attacked a lot of like heel hook style attacks in this tournament. I think he's like just exceptional everywhere.
Yeah, that's one thing that I feel like sometimes overlooked with gi guys whenever they do make the transition. A lot of times, like a gi guy with a really good straight ankle, people are like, oh, he's got a dangerous straight ankle. Well, it turns out those guys are usually pretty good at all leg locks. Once you take the gi off, it's like they're also very good at heel hooks and everything.
And I think guys leave themselves more open to the heel hook because they fear the straight ankle lock, you know. Fortunately for me, I train with Chris Wojcik every day, so I'm used to people trying to rip my legs off.
Yeah, you felt that Woj lock?
Too many times. Too many times.
We had him on, and I'm pretty sure he talked about that. That's his saving grace a lot of the times in training. He just has to throw on the Woj lock and slow everybody down at least.
It definitely makes you hesitant to start passing again, because if you get entangled in that 50 and he slams that on, you're going to have a bad day.
Yeah. What's kind of your expectation for this match with Felipe Andrew?
I think he's an interesting guy because you don't really know what to expect. Maybe he's going to come out and wrestle me really hard. Maybe he'll sit. I think we know that I'm going to try and wrestle for the top position regardless. But maybe just throw something flying at me. Who knows?
He definitely could. Has Nicky Rod kind of been a part of this camp for you at all? Has he kind of given you any advice, having experienced competing against Felipe?
Nick Rod's always in every camp I do, you know, and vice versa. We train together a lot, so we definitely have put together some game plans, some thoughts. Also, the guys that have competed against him before, that held me out too, that have been in the gym. So I think we got a couple of looks.
Nice. Felipe Costas probably is a good training partner for someone like this. You know, he kind of understands, I guess, that transition, probably knows Felipe Andrew's game well.
Yeah, exactly. Having him in has been super helpful, especially you see here playing the close guard. Costas got an amazing close guard too. So
How much emphasis are you putting on wrestling these days in your camps?
Every round starts standing, so we're wrestling at almost every round, you know, except outside of the positional rounds. So a lot of that is a lot of my training there is specifically in the hand fighting and the wrestling.
Is that somewhere where you feel like you've made a lot of strides as well?
Oh, for sure. Like, I didn't really have much wrestling at all when I first came to the US, and then in 3 years, I think I've got some of the best hand fighting and some of the best wrestling. Especially in this weight class.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Did you watch the Nicky Rod slay the hand fight instructional?
I had it done to me firsthand for years now, so that's more so where I got it from.
Just a hands-on experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
An inside heel.
Yeah, impressive performance. I don't think a lot of people really expected Felipe Andrew to come out the other side and make it to the final when this was all going on. I know obviously Felipe has a lot of credentials in the sport, but just seeing him make that crossover to no-gi, you know, a lot of people didn't really know what to expect. So definitely an impressive performance.
I would have liked to see him and Lucas do the second or third round. I can't remember which round that was. But
That was the second round.
yeah, I would have liked to see him and Lucas go.
Mm-hmm.
He's an exceptional guy. Like I talk about it a lot, but he made me some money that first round. I had him to go very deep in that tournament.
Oh wow. So you were calling it, huh? You called the upset?
Oh yeah, for sure. He's like I've known Lucas for 10 years now, so I know how good he is.
Nice. All right, bro. Well, now it's time to get to the actual business. All of this so far was for pleasure, and now this segment is all business.
Just real quick, maybe before we jump in, you know, obviously a lot of matches on the card. Is there any other match that you're really looking forward to on the card that you want to check out?
Before we get to business,
I mean the main event is crazy, you know. Those guys are definitely two of the top guys at that weight class. Mika moving up, but I feel like Mika probably walks around that size anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jonathan is just so strong. Like, it's going to be interesting to see how those guys, because they've fought in the gi a couple of times, I believe.
They fought once in the gi at Worlds, the semifinals of 2022.
And Mika won that,
Yes.
correct? Yeah.
Bow and arrow.
So it'll be interesting to see how it differs, no gi, and especially now the time's elapsed. And then obviously Kit and Shanji's just sick, you know.
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Do you like that rule set? Do you like the who's number one rule set? Obviously 9 minutes on the undercard, but 15 minutes just kind of free reign on the main card.
Yeah, it's good. Maybe at minute 15, if you ask me. If I like it, maybe not. But
Yeah.
I've definitely been training and pushing long rounds and a lot of cardio work. So looking forward to displaying that I'm not going to get tired. I say that now. Don't edit this if I do get tired.
Yeah, we're gonna cut it where you're like, I'm excited to not get tired, and play the Curb Your Enthusiasm clip, and you just dying on the side.
Him thrown up in the corner
Yeah.
into a bucket Diva's holding.
Yeah, okay, we'll make you a deal. If you don't throw up, we won't. But if you do throw up, we're gonna make that video. It's gonna be hilarious.
That's fair enough. I'll give you
all
guys
right.
that deal.
All right, good deal.
You gotta let us know that you're gonna throw up so we can capture it.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll know.
He'll make it known.
Have you ever thrown up on the mats?
Not on the mats. I did Europeans at what year was that?
IBJJF Europeans?
IBJJF Europeans in the gi at brown belt, and it's lightweight. It's the last time I ever did lightweight.
Dang, 168.
That cut was horrific. I mean, that was the worst cut I've ever done. And I fought the first match, and I just felt so ill. And I came out in the second match. I was like, I need to submit this guy, otherwise I'm going to puke everywhere. And I won it by toe hold. And it might even be on the edge of the camera. I just walk up to the lady on the mat. I just push her out of the way a little bit. I just vomit in this bin next to the mat. And I was like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Let's get into the monster tier list here. We got way more flavors than the world probably even thought was possible right here. And we're going to be ranking the best monster flavors here. We have some kind of pre-made rankings here. We got the go-to faves, pretty good, they all right, I'll drink it, no thanks, and haven't tried. Just overall, when you see this kind of list, how many of these do you think you have tried? Are you White Monster exclusive, or have you dipped?
I tend to be exclusive, but I have tried most of them. You guys have a lot more that we don't have in Australia, so there's definitely going to be a few.
Red 40 really opens.
Right, yeah, that's exactly right. We'll see.
All right, let's kick it off with just the tried and true classic, the original monster there, with the green label all the way on the far left.
The original's pretty good. Yeah, it's solid. It's a good base, I think.
It is a good base.
We're getting a vote for pretty good.
Yeah,
getting a vote for pretty good. I'm cool with a pretty good. I feel like it's not necessarily S tier go-to fave.
Yeah, it's to be honest, like my brother, shout out my brother. My brother's a vital part of this podcast. He's a white belt, started training. Anytime we need to take a jab at somebody, my brother's always there for that. He did take me down recently in training. Reed won't quit bringing it up to me.
Brought it up once.
He Uchi-modded me and got me on a takedown.
Oh, that's a hell of a takedown to hit too.
First and only time ever. And now listen, I'm not an excuse guy, so I don't need to say any excuses about why my brother took me down. But there were things at play where maybe I wasn't going as hard as I normally would. He was talking about being injured, so but whatever. He took me down.
It was beautiful.
And my brother,
beautiful takedown.
My brother, he came and stayed with me for like 3 days, and the first thing he did is he went to the gas station and bought 3 original monsters. He was like, "This is one for each morning. I like to start my morning with the monster." I was like, "You're a psycho, dude." Do you wake up and crank a monster off the rip?
Depends what day it is.
Maybe not how I would phrase that.
Because I do. No.
Yeah. I normally have them before I lift, so
Gotcha.
This
later
is
in the day,
number 2 for the day.
Let's go. All right. So yeah, I'm cool with putting the original in the pretty good category.
Honestly, that's the only one I've had.
The original,
and now the White Monster. So for me, it's S tier, but
it's really up there.
I mean,
I should really put these all in go-to faves just in case Monster want to throw me some money.
Yeah, true.
Exactly.
Well, just so Monster and everyone watching knows, this doesn't mean they're bad. This is in the category of the monster ranking, so they're all the best.
They're all fantastic.
Yeah, they're all already above the rest. But I think the next one is like the low carb one.
I can zoom in. You guys can't see it zoomed in, but I can zoom in and tell you what it says on the can. Monster Energy low carb.
Yeah, that's the low carb.
That's okay. That's all right.
Yeah.
In fact, no, I'll drink it. But
I would go all drink it. It's like, I don't know, it's like a weird variation. It's not sugar free. It's not like
the taste is just a little off.
Yeah, so I'll put that in the I'll drink it one.
I agree.
This next one is like, I think it's the zero sugar, right? But it's like one of the original zero sugar, so it's like looks a little different. It's not like the new style.
Yeah.
They always do in this one.
Monster Energy zero sugar on the can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had that one? That blue one?
Is this the same as the zero sugar original? It's like the green flavor?
I think
in Australia we have the same can as the original, but with zero sugar written on it. In which case, it's all right. They all right.
I would also go with it's all right. I think it's a little bit better than the just straight up low carb one.
Yeah,
but it's not the original.
Yeah.
All right, they all right. And then we got Monster. This is a salt, right?
Energy Assault, Monster
See,
Energy.
I'm really getting to flex my own monster knowledge here. You didn't think I'd be able to just identify them like
Yeah, I didn't know this one.
Now Monster
Camouflage
Assault.
can, hard to see.
Yeah, I remember being a young kid in Columbus, Kansas, going to the gas station in our one gas station in town and seeing this can for the first time and thinking, wow, if I drink this, all my dreams will come true because it's camo. It's got the red.
And
monster,
here you are.
It just seemed like if I drank this, the possibilities would be limitless. And I don't remember what it tastes like or anything. I just remember the feeling of like, this is gonna get me where I need to be.
Does that have more caffeine than
I don't think
others?
so. To be honest, I think it's like a red punchy flavor if I remember correctly. I'm not 100% sure, but really for me, it's all about the branding on this one. The multi-cam with the red, dude. That's badass.
It
There's
is.
no denying it.
It is.
The can is very cool. For me personally, I haven't tried it.
Yeah, I haven't tried it either.
So we're going S tier.
Yeah, we got it. I would vouch for this one to go like they all right because if you walked around drinking this, like drywall is gonna run from you in fear, dude. Drywall's gonna be absolutely terrified if they see you holding the Monster Assault can. This
We're
seems
done
like,
for.
Yeah, this seems like far end like monster dudes, rocking like the monster motocross hat and like.
So you got to be deep into the monster lore
to get into that one.
Okay.
This next one is I don't know this next one. What's this one, Joe?
This one says import, Monster Energy import.
This is I believe these are the ones they get from Asia and stuff. This is very good.
S tier. All right, S tier.
Yeah.
We're go.
I'm glad we got a good, spread on the perspective here
Yeah.
of monsters. Like, I knew Assault, the import.
Yeah,
Okay, but can we call it a go-to fave if I have to import it from Asia?
yeah. I travel through Asia a little bit.
Yeah, we can.
It's definitely
But this one is a go-to fave, huh?
Yeah.
You see an import, you're snagging it?
I was in Bali recently, and I was on the hunt for a white monster. If you watch my Instagram,
Among other things.
we were. I was there with my lady. I was very well behaved. Yeah, no white monster. I tried to get in contact with the guys at Monster, see if they ship them anywhere in Bali, and no, but they have these, and even these were hard to find.
Nice.
All right, there you
That
go.
is hilarious. You hit up the guys from Monster. Like, bro, where in Bali can I find a white monster?
I'm down bad right now.
And they're like, sorry, man, you got to go with the imports.
Next time I'm bringing my own. Come in prepared.
Got just
cases.
a check bag full of white monster. All right, so we got our first go-to fave up there, the import. Our next one's the Monster Mule. I have no idea what this one is.
It says ginger brew at the top, which to me puts it as a no thanks.
Yeah,
No thanks on the ginger brew. Give me a real monster.
I'm gonna go with no thanks too.
Yeah, I haven't tried this one, but I don't think I would try it if I saw it.
If there was a bucket of monsters, I feel like the ginger brew would be in there for a while as we all went to grab them.
Yeah, true. Let's go no thanks.
We might be scrapping if there was a bucket of monsters.
You can have them all. Definitely. Yeah.
Imagine we just have a bucket of monsters and Declan's like, I guess we got to fight for them. They might be yours, man. They might be yours.
Take your pick, Declan.
They're moving them out of the back of who's number one now. They're like, all right, cut that idea.
Yeah, they were going to
Me shaking Mika like, get your hands off the white one.
That would be awesome if there was a fight backstage because Mika tried grabbing a white monster. Not even the last one. There's 20 of them.
Yeah, there was a big slap backstage at WNO.
It's like, I'm going straight to Asia from this. I need all the monsters.
That would be hilarious. All right, this is a good stretch we got coming up. This is
my region.
Yes,
your wheelhouse.
Same here. I am a zero sugar monster guy. Honestly, I just like the taste more and everything. Like I drink soda with sugar in it. I'm not afraid of a little sugar, dude. I'm not scared.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, but
give me the full sugar variant,
Yeah.
except in energy drinks.
yeah, for some reason, I just do like these a little more. Sometimes, to be honest, the original, like it makes my mouth, like I get like Skittle spit almost, where
Yeah,
your mouth's
I
a
know
little
exactly
like
what
sticky,
you're talking about.
kind of. So I like the zero sugar variations, and we kind of got a good run here of all the different flavors. You sampled all the zero sugar.
Yeah, all of these are going to be pretty high up this.
Nice.
This
So
alley.
So we're kicking it off with this. This is like a
Ultra
watermelon.
watermelon.
Yeah, ultra
Yeah.
watermelon. Where are you going with this off the riff? What's the instinct?
The watermelon's pretty good. That's high up.
That was my first instinct as well.
Yeah,
As
pretty good,
pretty good.
Those are pretty good.
This next one's ultra gold. I feel like this is one that was like a Like it was just available for a short time. I feel like I don't see it all the
limited
time.
edition
Maybe
Monster,
I'm.
huh?
Never had it.
They're still quite popular back home. It's all right. They're all right.
They're all right.
You going there, all right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
alright.
cool with that. I mean,
There
how
goes
you
the
how are you
expert.
how are you gonna tell Declan he doesn't have the ranking locked in, and then
I mean, what are we doing here?
yeah,
Can we make another tier? Is that possible?
Yeah, I think
for
you
the
can.
white monster.
I think you can.
Pure white monster tier.
Yeah, we can make another.
Oh, we
tier.
can?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
If you click the gear thing in the top, Joe, like
Top right?
like where it says go to faves, yeah, and then just delete go to faves, and then just write white
Add a
monster.
row.
Or yeah, just add like a white tier or something.
Yeah.
One too many.
That's all right.
That's okay. You can put it on the top one and we leave a gap.
Yeah, there we go. Gap. No, put.
Yeah.
There's a gap between them. White monster, and then click the gear on the far right of the white monster one, and then click the white little emblem. It's our white monster tier, you know, so it's got to be all white. There we go.
That's perfect.
And then throw the white monster up there.
Yeah, I think it's undeniable that this is the greatest drink of mankind
Now,
invented.
do you truly believe that, or have you
you just having to live the
ran
bit?
with the meme? Because I feel like the white monster meme is like a real thing now.
Is it taking over your life or?
Yeah, look, if they could do this without caffeine so I wouldn't have a heart attack, I would purely drink this.
Just exclusively,
Yeah.
just drinking
Yeah,
white monster.
I love the flavor.
But you have to drink water sometimes.
How would you
too.
describe the flavor? I don't even know what this flavor
Yeah,
is.
true.
It's just white monster flavor, you know? That's what it is.
Yeah. Would you like get other things that were white monster flavored if they had it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. If they could do like desserts and stuff with this
Or white
flavor, it would be
monster.
unbelievable.
I'll take the white monster cheesecake, please.
Yeah. Someone's got to get on that, surely.
It's like a grapefruit type maybe.
I believe it's a citrus-based
Citrus
flavor.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you. Doesn't exist in nature.
I'm just trying to kind of see what they're going for here.
It doesn't exist in nature. Yeah. Shout out to cavemen, dude. They
do
don't know what they were missing.
I do like the design too on the can.
Yeah, the nice textured can, you know?
Yeah, this
You
is
know what
Still
you're
have some
sipping.
left. I crushed mine.
Oh yeah.
Did you really? Nice.
I'm about halfway through mine, so.
Yeah. Dang, boys, we drinking it or we holding it? You know what I'm saying? Let's get these white monsters down. All right, next up we have green. I want to speak first on green. This is an elite flavor, if you ask me. Green is one of my go-tos. Like if there's, I don't always, I cheat on white monster a little bit. I mix it up. But green is one of the ones that I do try to snag. And now I'll pass it to Declan.
It's like green apple, or it's just green.
I
I don't think we should be trying to put labels.
Okay.
I guess it's kind of green apple, but it is kind of true that they do just have their own.
Their
It's
own
green monster flavor. I don't know. They're doing
okay.
their own thing.
I do agree. Green is a go-to if there's no
Go-to
white
fave.
monster
Let's go.
available.
All right, and then this one is like ultra blue or something. What's this one?
Ultra Fiesta.
This is the sugar-free mango one, and this is the only one where it's a close contender.
Ooh.
For the white
For
monster.
the white monster. This is a very good option if there is no white monster.
Dang. So do we got to put it to the front? Of
Yeah,
the
I think
go-to
it's got to
fave?
go to the front of go-to faves.
Wow.
Nice. You like that mango, huh?
Yeah, it's good.
Fair enough. You ever get tired of any of these? Like, you
No,
ever,
never.
no?
Never.
Ridiculous.
I felt like that recently at Worlds when Slack was like, man, my screen time. And it was like, man, I never get tired of screens. What are you talking about? I love screens. Next one is Ultra Sunrise.
I feel like
Sounds good.
I kind of feel like this orange one is like it's like a base, like you talked about earlier. Like there's some good ones that are just good bases. I do think the orange is like a good base.
Yeah.
Like a palate cleanser in between other monsters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. It is. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
like-
good, sounds like.
I'll drink it.
Yeah, it is right there with watermelon. To be honest,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I got to bring up the Fiesta. I would go pretty good on it. I'm gonna defer to you as the expert, but I think this is one where I remember it like came out later than the rest, right? Like
Yeah, this is a couple years ago. This came out
I like
because
how
they
we
had the original mango one with the sugar, but I think this one beats it.
I think I went all in on it right when it came out, and I kind of burnt myself out, to be honest. So then now it's one that I'm like, am I ready to go back to Ultra Fiesta? And I'm like, not yet. I still need time away.
Like
I'm
a
trying to
toxic
find myself a little-
ex-girlfriend, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, it's like I'm trying to work through some things on my end and see if I'm ready to re-engage, see if we're different now. But what are you about to say, Reed?
Just that I like that we're getting a full kind of history of Monster as well.
Yeah.
Like,
this deep knowledge of Monster that we're bringing. I mean, we could.
I'm learning something here.
Yeah, we
so.
could have done the same with Mr. Iguana, but instead we did Monster.
What are our favorite Mr. Iguana bits or Mr. Iguana?
I like whenever he
finishing
pulls
moves?
the iguana out. All right, we got. Is
S
this
tier.
Are we
Ultra Rosa.
Ultra Rosa? Another newer edition, right?
Yeah. It's up there. It's probably go-to. It's very good.
Wow.
I say go too. I'm into it. I'm not gonna
I'm taking Declan's word for it.
Reed. You're out on all these, huh?
I put up all of them in. Haven't tried it.
Are you gonna run, not walk to the store after this and purchase all of these?
I guess at least the top tier ones. I gotta try.
Got to go buy all the go-to faves.
Yeah,
and sample those. Then we got the purple one, like ultra purple,
Ultraviolet.
ultraviolet.
I feel like I would like this one.
I feel like I remember this being a pretty good one, to be honest.
This one is very good. This is also a go-to.
Go-to fave right there. It would be pretty funny if we just ended up with every monster in go-to fave. It was just like, oh yeah, Declan just loves monster.
That is true.
Yeah. Do you ever mix in a Red Bull?
I tend not to.
Yeah.
That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah. Do you ever mix in like weird off-brand energy drinks?
Rain, because they're owned by Monster. You know?
Oh, nice. So you're pretty brand loyal.
Brand loyal, you know.
What about in Brazil? Have you ever been to Brazil?
I haven't been yet.
Oh, you got to go, bro.
Yeah.
They have this energy drink there called TNT. And I just think it's funny that it's called TNT and it has all these crazy designs and it has acai flavored TNT energy drink.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, that's a fun one to mix in, you know. I always bring up TNT to like Brazilian people thinking it's going to be funny and there's like, yeah, no, that's like a standard energy drink here. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Like bringing up like Mountain Dew. And
yeah, it's like, oh,
yeah,
shit,
okay.
you're right. Yeah, that's
Do you ever mix the flavors to create your own flavors? Like, are you in the
I just
laboratory?
wouldn't ruin perfection, you know. Like,
Sure, they already did that. They
To
already.
think that I would know better than the fine flavors of Monster Energy drink is nothing but hubris, Reed. Let's get it together.
Have you ever seen that video of the guy who taste tests ice cream? He's like a Ben and Jerry's ice cream
No, I
taster.
haven't.
He has this like tiny little golden spoon and like he like just tastes ice cream. That's his whole job, but he's like super serious and he goes like, that top note, 1,000 taste buds. And he gives a very analytical taste testing. We need you to start doing that to Monster.
Want to hire me for that purpose, I'm in.
we might have to make that video with you.
I mean, you're just talking about all the flavors of Monster, you know, just how they hit your palate.
That's
that sounds hilarious.
I'll probably just say the color, but
Tastes very green. This is
yeah.
Have him wait 20 minutes, see how many jumping jacks he can do.
Yeah, how many
Got pretty
star
energized.
jumps?
Yeah.
Star jump.
I jumped.
All right, next we got Ultra Ruby.
The next three I feel like all came out around the same time. Ultra Red, Ultra Blue, Ultra Black.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, these are all right. I wouldn't put any of these higher than that.
Ultra Black is like,
I'll drink it.
yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not an Ultra Black guy, to be honest. I feel like I don't even get how it fits into the zero sugar category. It's like something seems
Seems
about
off.
it. Yeah, something.
Yeah,
off
let's
about it.
put Ultra Black in. I'll drink it.
Yeah. I'm definitely.
Desperate to-
I'm not grabbing that one.
No.
in like before any of these others.
Could be a no thanks. But we will drink it.
I will drink it.
It would.
Being honest.
Yeah,
here.
it would be a shame to put it with Monster Mule because I don't think I would drink Monster Mule. All right, so that kind of rounds out our zero sugar portion of this ranking, which in my opinion is like the best portion of all of these. And now we're kind of in this little juice lane. Have you messed around with the Monster juices?
I've had most of these.
Are you a fan of the Monster juices?
They have their place, you know. They're definitely not as good as the ones we've been through, but they definitely have their place.
What is their place?
Mid tier, mid to low tier.
What's
When do
the
you go grab a Monster juice?
yeah?
If I was to do that, I'm getting the mango one. This first one here.
What's going on in your day and in your life that would make you opt for a Monster juice versus like a zero sugar?
Oh, there's a zero sugar shortage. That would be the only reason. I think.
I'm in Bali and
I'm gonna have to blank out every country that doesn't have a white monster.
yeah,
I travel.
you just get like tons of seminar requests, but you won't go because
Call up the Monster guys and say, "Hey, I'm going to need a map."
Do you have monsters in this country?
All right, so the first one is the mango, right? The
I
blue?
do believe
Mango
so.
Loco.
Yeah, Mango Loco is the only one that is pretty good.
Okay, that one's going pretty good. What's this second one? It looks cool. The white on. I have a friend Jack who's he's big. He always drinks this blue
Pacific
mango
Punch
juice one, the Monster
Yeah.
juice one.
Pacific Punch. I actually haven't had this one.
I haven't had that either.
Me neither.
Has anybody had it?
Me neither. Boys.
Yeah, haven't tried maybe. And then this pink juice.
Pipeline punch.
That sounds nice.
Does it? I don't want to drink from a pipeline.
Pipeline punch, but it sounds like Hawaiian. Like
The punch part, but I would hope that like
I was thinking pipeline, like the big surfing spot.
Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I'll drink it.
Have you had it?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, chaotic with a K.
That's hardcore.
Yeah. This is another one of those really heavily branded ones, you know.
Kind of like
A bunch of
Monster
butterflies.
Assault.
Yeah, very.
You got to be
similar
really
the
deep
Assault.
into the.
But again, I'll drink it.
Do you feel kind of badass though if you're carrying around a Monster Juice Chaotic?
I don't know if badass is the word. You know, I think I might try and hide it a little bit.
Yeah. You would brown bag this one.
Yeah.
You don't want the boys seeing you holding it. They're like, Declan, what is that? A white monster? You're like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a white monster.
It's a monster. Yeah. I'm drinking a monster.
Not a Monster Juice, if that's what you were thinking.
Yeah, is drinking a Monster Juice a little bit soft, if we're being honest?
Yeah, for sure. If that's your go-to, you got to look at yourself.
All right, you look across. You're at ADCC Trials, all right, and you look across the mat and you see your next opponent sipping a Monster Juice.
It's over for them. It's done.
You just already know that.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, what's this last Monster
This
Juice?
last monster juice is Papillon. I think I'm saying that right. Papillon. Papillon.
Papillon.
Yeah. It looks like it has butterflies on the can. It says energy plus juice. This is the totality of the information that I can draw from.
Great Dustin Hoffman movie. Papillon.
Yeah, now we're talking. This is the Dustin Hoffman
Steve McQueen.
created.
Steve McQueen's in it, right?
You had this one?
I have. It's another I'll drink it. These are all
Okay.
pretty similar.
If you hadn't have had that, I would have put that one in the fart noise category because I would have just went from that name and the can description. But
Now
we'll put
we
it
are-
in. I'll drink it.
There are so many monsters. Like,
so
we're not even halfway through this thing. Like,
What about these monster rehabs?
I have had these. Someone bought me a packet of all these to try. So
Did you feel a little disrespected by that?
I liked the thought. You know, it was very, very kind of them.
thought that counts.
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
it like your girlfriend or something?
No,
You're
no,
like,
no.
well, I guess we've only been together for a little bit. You don't quite know me yet.
Be together much
she
longer.
wouldn't be the girlfriend if she did that to me. You know?
What do you do?
You know nothing about this relationship.
Have the last 6 months meant nothing to you?
Just kidding. I have no idea how long your girlfriend have dated or what monsters you drink with her. So I don't want to put that on her.
She knows.
Yeah.
All right. Strawberry lemonade is the first rehab monster.
It's a real flavor,
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah, they are right. The thing that throws me here is that they're not carbonated. You know,
What is rehab? What is it? What does that mean?
I think they have like electrolytes and
Okay.
stuff in them.
They're
Gotcha.
probably made instead of like all the weird waters, they're made with like coconut water, I would
Yeah.
guess, to be honest.
Weird waters.
I mean, if we're out on, maybe these are all just no thanks.
Yeah, this yellow one is I'll drink it, and then the others are definitely no thanks.
Should I move the strawberry lemonade to a no thanks?
No, that stays.
Let's not get cute over there.
So peach tea, orangeade,
Yeah.
raspberry tea. Those are the last three rehabs.
Yeah,
Those
all
are
no thanks.
Wow.
Get out of here, Monster Rehab. These are like the Monster Hydrates next or something?
Super
Like, they're kinda
Sport
like-
Superior Hydrations.
Yeah,
Hydros. Monster Hydros.
these are all okay actually. For like,
You drink these?
I have drank them when I first came to the US. I'd never seen them before, so I had to try them all, and they're all again. I'll drink it.
So
They serve a very different purpose.
This is like whenever you really want a monster, but you kind of just train super hard and
Yeah,
or you
I probably
drank two
don't
monsters.
need any more caffeine in my life. you
Do
know?
these still have caffeine?
Not to the extent. I don't think they. I think it's more like it's like their version
Like a
of Gatorade.
Gatorade, yeah.
Gotcha. So we going all drink it and with all of
Yeah,
them?
with all of these.
Nice.
I want to point out some of these have like cool names, and then for some reason they just start doing movie names because it's Killer Kiwi, Red Dog, Macho Mango, Blue Streak, Tropic Thunder. Last two movie names for some reason.
They threw in Tropic Thunder, huh? All right.
All right, so don't try those ones.
Yeah.
These ones aren't it. Run out of room.
Purple Passion, Blue Ice, Zero Sugar.
Throw them in there.
Oh, these are like, yeah, okay. Until we get to the...
Yeah. Got to get through these Monster Hydros.
Okay.
And then...
These are teas. This is Dragon Iced Tea.
Yeah, all these teas are no thanks for me.
100%, dude.
Stick to what you do.
Yeah. Let's not get too cute, Monster. Like, obviously, you hold a special place in Declan's heart, and you can get away with a lot. But, you know, you're pushing it with the teas, all right?
All right. So now we're getting into some
home stretch.
we're getting into some big boy drinks here. We're getting into some drinks that you should not give a small child, which I would give most of you.
Yeah, up to this point, it's all game. But now, we're in the no longer okay for a small child category. What is this first one?
Monster Energy Nitro, super dry.
Yeah.
This is
Super dry?
Super dry. This is good.
for when you need
What
your
is
heart to
this?
genuinely like beat like a hummingbird's.
Yeah.
But it's liquid.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, this is really good.
What makes it? What,
I've had this before.
I guess
This
what
is also
this? I
good.
don't know.
I don't know.
You know how you have a Four Loko and
Yeah.
it's like, hey, this has like as much beer as like 12 beers.
Mm-hmm.
This is the version of that.
That's what a super dry is.
Yeah, this is what like the nitro is like, yeah, it just has way too much caffeine and stuff in it. You know those lemonades at Panera that kept killing people? This was
Yeah.
their answer for that.
All right, cool.
We got to get in on this.
Yeah, I got to get a super dry, dude.
So I don't know if I would call it a go-to fave because
Is it a
if you're
go-to fave?
you will die.
It's
Your
pretty
body
good.
is in trouble if it's a go-to fave.
You're going pretty good.
Pretty
category.
good.
Pretty
Yeah.
good. Okay.
Pretty good.
It's
work.
up there with the original.
If this is anything like whenever we brought Nicky Ryan on and tried nicotine for the first time with him, and then we kind of spiraled into this crazy rabbit hole of doing European nicotine and Pablo 50s, I think we're going to be consuming copious amounts of caffeine here soon. So, I don't know.
Well, it's
might be our
like
gateway.
just to
What is the
try them
weird-
all, I've got to be on Monsters.
I'm sorry for what I've done to you all.
What Eastern European energy drink are we about to get really into when
Yeah.
monsters no longer do the job?
Yeah, true. When Monster's just not quite enough anymore.
I had one in Kazakhstan that was 600 milligrams, and I don't know
If you've ever come
why
down from
that's
it.
legal anywhere.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah.
That's like double this can. What is this like?
4 times.
What's the exact caffeine on a white Monster? Do you know it?
I'm not, because it slightly varies depending where you are too.
Mm.
But I think it's about 160, 150,
160?
depending.
I don't even know where to find
Yeah, I
it.
don't
They
know.
might just be hiding it. Oh, yeah. Caffeine from all sources, 160 milligrams per can.
So funny.
Look at
It's
this
like,
guy.
what region are we in
Yeah.
right now? Like,
The man knows his drink.
Where'd you buy those?
Yeah, what's it? How many milligram is an Australian white Monster pushing?
And 160 as well, but
Okay.
some place in Asia,
Maybe
150, I believe.
Okay, 150. They dropped 10.
Yeah.
Nice. Lower BMIs in the Asian.
They're honest too. They say they have like 5 calories or something in them. You know?
Okay.
These are telling a little bit of a lie, I think.
All right. So,
Wait, wait, yours says
10. This does say 10.
yeah, it says 10.
mine says 150. Yours
Is it
says
really?
yeah, Chinese ass can.
yours says 160.
Oh, yeah. No, it is 150.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I
I
think.
thought I'd
Oh,
done a
Declan, this
number
is a
there.
bad look.
I know. Let myself
Bad
down.
look, dude. All right, let's rank these last 2 Monster Maxes. I've never had these. Have you?
Monster Max Zero Sugar, Rad Red, and Mango.
I've never had either of these.
Right?
Are you itching to try them?
I am now, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a ranking that is. This is beautiful. What do
did
you
a
think
lot
of
of work
What do you
today.
think of the work you've done here, Declan?
I think it's spot on. I can't see anything wrong with that.
All right.
Last looks. We can change around anything right now if the boys see it. Declan, I'm happy to make this list a reflection of what you're feeling.
No, I think we've done that one shot.
All right. We're gonna
Nailed it.
post this on our Instagram. If you want to look at that camera right there, Declan, and give a message to the people, what do you have to say about this ranking of your monsters?
This is the undeniable ranking of all monster flavors.
Perfect. There you have it, dude. No one will argue in the comments about this at all. So,
They can't.
Yeah,
It's,
it's undisputed.
yeah.
all right, this is great. This is great work done here, boys.
Unless Kynan has something to say, I can't really argue with him. If he wants to change it, I guess what can I do?
What a brutal bracket shakeout for you on ADCC.
Yeah, it
huh?
was a rough couple of days.
I remember seeing you like in the casino later that night and just being like, yeah, sorry that you just kept having to face Kynan in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, that was tough. You know,
Did you get Pato or Baby Shark?
Baby Shark.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was that
You
nice
tapped
though?
out an ADCC champion at ADCC.
2-time ADCC champion.
Yeah, that had to
Don't
feel
forget.
Solidifying myself as the greatest 66er on the planet.
good. Yeah. Nice, bro.
That was one of those ones where the ref raised my hand and I was like, the crowd's silent and you're like, I feel bad.
It's just a little
I
awkward.
was like, this should be the best moment of my career and it's not.
Especially like, seeing you guys standing next to each other. I was like, oh wow, Declan's a lot bigger than him. Huh?
Seeing Declan standing over Baby Shark's guard, it was like, oh man, he's a lot smaller than Declan.
I'm starting to think Baby Shark's a lot smaller than Declan.
I was going out, I was like, just don't get highlighted, Declan. Just don't get highlighted.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, Declan. Well, obviously, we talked about the White Monster podcast, but where can people watch that? What kind of stuff are you guys talking about on that podcast?
Yeah, the White Monster podcast on YouTube and Spotify, myself, Austin Senos. We just got a lot of interesting people in our lives that we've met. I'm fortunate enough to travel a lot and get to spend a lot of time with these people, and we have a lot of access to great jiu-jitsu athletes. Although it's not just a jiu-jitsu podcast. An episode coming out today that I had that was really special is a friend of mine, Shane Cook, who is an Aboriginal community leader back home and a very talented artist and tattooist. He shares a lot of stories about his family and things like this. So although it is primarily jiu-jitsu heavy, we have a lot of guests from all walks of life that we want to share their stories.
Nice. So everybody go check out the White Monster podcast. I'm sure it's available most of the places you can watch a podcast or listen to a podcast. Go follow Declan on Instagram and everything. It's just Declan_Moody, right? Or Declan Moody?
I believe so.
Yeah, Declan_Moody, I think. But you'll find him on there. And then everyone at home, make sure you tune in to Who's Number 128. Get to see Declan in action against Felipe Andrew. It's going down Friday, June 13th. I think tickets are still available. So if you're in the Costa Mesa area, go buy some tickets now. And we'll see you guys all out there. We'll see you there I guess we'll probably get there like Thursday or so for Media Day, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys in the next episode.